Okay, we bought a house here a number of years ago, a little bit outside of Florence, and we wanted to bring our family of 4 children, so we were looking for a sizable property, but we found considerable difficulty because what we wanted to do was to purchase before arriving in Italy. So we looked on lots of online sellers of properties, estate agents, and some that we realised afterwards were actually just agents, people that were selling on behalf of other estate agents. And so we looked at quite a number of them. We have various experiences. I flew out here probably as many as 10 times to actually visit different properties. Sometimes we came along and the properties were totally inappropriate. One occasion we actually came and they took me to see a property that I'd already seen, even though we'd carefully gone through the description beforehand. One of the things that is very difficult is that there is not usually detailed information about the properties from. So if you're visiting from England, you're expecting to know what the property is, perhaps the dimensions, perhaps the location of the property as well. The location seemed to be a very secretly guarded thing, and only once I was with the agent and we come over did we actually find out the location of it. I had other experience as well where I flew over once and the estate agent wasn't very well, and I had to find my way to the property myself, view it, then went back to the estate agent who then complained how they got a broken leg and how bad their marriage was and all kinds of different things. Where I just got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, flew over, and I was due to take a flight back in a few hours. So it was a little bit of a strange conversation for me as an English person coming over to Italy. We also had other experiences as well. I came over on one occasion, with my wife to view a property, which we'd asked for a location that was quiet, and this was right next to a main road, and it was much bigger than what we wanted, and it was out of our price range. And the first thing that was strange, there was two men and 1 woman estate agent, so 3 people came with us, which was a little bit of overkill. Both the men smoked constantly all the way through the visit to the house, and there's something that culturally we're not used to, people smoking in a professional meeting. But then when we said the price was just not what we wanted, the property was not what we wanted either in terms of location or in terms of price range, they said, well, haven't you got some English friends that could chip in with you to buy the house? And we thought, again, that was a very strange thing to say, because normally we're buying a house just for ourselves. For me, I would say that the first thing is the level of information, the upfront information. The search criteria seems to be very much more easy in the international environment. So there's more of exposure of exactly where the property is, what the property is, photographs, even things like online views, walk around the house, videos, etc., to give as much information as possible. Also, the properties tend to be prepared better, so that when you go to the property, things are fresh, they're not old, or they're not, it's not like the property's just been opened up for you to come and view it and it's been closed for 6 months. So it feels a lot fresher, it feels like somewhere that you actually can imagine living in, rather than something that you feel that you need to actually change before you could move. But yeah, I think the information is the main thing, and then also the process, because the process is very different buying a house in Italy to buying a house in other countries, and just the whole explanation of the compromesso of the negotiations that take place as well, about the pricing, about the taxation, about the geometers that are needed, the engineers that are needed, even down to the notary that is required. It's a very complex process, and it's not that well explained by the Italian estate agents, whereas in the UK that would tend to be fairly well explained, and you'd understand the process very clearly before you even start what needs to happen. But it's some of the things like the transfer of a mortgage with the property rather than the person is something that again is very strange and needs to be fully explained with the sale of the property as well. That the mortgage is against the property rather than against the person. So again, those kind of things were not well explained. We had quite a few surprises along the way.